Teen gets suspended from school after making a heroic move for his sick sister. It doesn't really make the most sense in the world to punish students by telling them not to come to school. However, one teen in Texas received this penalty, but not for the reason you'd think. He was suspended after pulling off a heroic move on his sick sister's behalf. Then, when confronted about his actions, the teenager delivered an incredible response that tore through his community. The Johnson family was a happy one. They lived out a peaceful existence in Poth, Texas, where Dad Alan and Mom Jamie worked hard to provide a good childhood for their kids Newt, Jasper, and Maggie. Maggie, the youngest, was in 5th grade. She attended Poth Elementary while Jasper went to Poth Junior High. Newt, the oldest at 16, was a student at Poth High School. Soon, however, the children's education became complicated. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. On an ordinary day in October, Maggie became very ill, complaining of debilitating cramps and crippling nausea. Incredibly alarmed and confused, her parents rushed with her to local children's hospital. Once the family arrived, they learned the awful truth about their cherished daughter's condition. It was worse than any of them ever could have imagined, and it seemed just like the day before she was completely fine. In reality, Maggie was not completely fine. The doctors broke the tragic news to the Johnsons. Their little girl had kidney failure. Something wasn't right though. The girl had been young, active, and seemingly healthy. It just wasn't adding up. Then the second bombshell was revealed. Maggie's kidney failure was a result of granulomatosis with polyangiitis, a rare autoimmune disease. No one had any idea until that fateful day at the Santa Rosa's Children's Hospital. This disease inflames the blood vessels in the nose, sinuses, throat, lungs, and kidneys. It's extremely uncommon as well as incredibly dangerous. Lack of treatment could spell death for a patient.
I get nauseated and I'll throw up and I'll get a real bad headache.
The symptoms of the illness are varied but may include prolonged sinus infections, nosebleeds, numbness, and joint pain, and the side effects from her treatments weren't much better. With chemo and dialysis, Maggie wasn't looking forward to one particular reaction. Granulomatosis also causes hair to fall out. Maggie, who'd always cherished her bright red locks, was totally devastated. Her life was already going to change in so many ways, and now she wouldn't even look like herself. Suddenly, in the midst of all the despair, her 16-year-old brother Newt remembered something. He recalled how Maggie had always complimented him on his flowing locks. At that moment, he knew exactly what he had to do. The teen decided to grow his hair out for his baby sister. He felt compelled to do anything in his power to help her on the long and trying journey she had ahead. It was the least he could do.
It made me feel good that I could do something for her.
He loved his sister, and seeing her in pain hurt him more than anything else. However, there was one obstacle that would conflict majorly with his heartwarming plan. In order to grow the amount of hair necessary if Maggie were to need a wig, he'd need between 8 and 14 inches. The issue was that this violated the rules laid out in his school's handbook. See, Poth High School had very strict rules regarding the length of boys' hair, stipulating that it
can't be any longer than the shoulder length. It's got to be above the ears,
nor beyond the top of a dress shirt collar in the back. Hair may not extend over the top of the eyebrow, hang over the face and eyes, or be distracting to others or self, the guidelines continued.
You have to have 8 to 14 inches to get it cut off.
Newt was not typically a rule breaker, but in this instance he felt he had to make an exception. So as the weeks went by and his hair began to grow longer and longer, school officials didn't take this infraction lightly. Eventually, they gave him an ultimatum: cut it or he wouldn't be permitted to return to school.
It really stressed me out because I already worried about my sister. If it wasn't cut by Monday, that I couldn't come back to school.
The school was making an already incredibly difficult situation even worse by complicating the one way Newt knew he could help Maggie. The deadline Poth High School had given Newt came and went, so one day he got to class and received an unwelcome surprise. His hair was in violation of the dress code, school officials called his mom, and she was forced to pick the teen up. However, no matter what the school said, Newt wasn't going to stop his efforts to help his sister. He was forced to make a dramatic decision. The 16-year-old opted to be homeschooled.
I don't understand why he has to get in trouble for doing this for me,
Maggie woefully remarked. It wasn't how Newt had envisioned his high school career going, but at that point nothing else mattered. The school issued a response, but not a very convincing one. It was never about not supporting a sick child, insisted Paula, the district superintendent. She went on to emphasize the $3,000 raised by the district in support of the struggling family. However, no amount of money could replace the priceless gift that Newt was giving his sister. Not only would she have a wig in the event that all her hair did fall out, but she knew for certain just how far her brother's love extended. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.